Crystal Beaudry here with Crystal's Clean Kitchen. So we have another great supper recipe for you today. I've been trying to do my best to get you some supper recipes because it's so challenging to know what to make when you get home from a long day at work and you're exhausted and you just have to make supper for everybody still. So this recipe, it's beef and green bean. It's a sheet pan dinner and it just has a few ingredients and it's so easy to do. It's keto approved, it's low carb friendly. You guys are going to love it. Thank you so much for watching. Will you do me a huge favor though and hit that like button? So here is all the ingredients that you are going to need. Now you can put 1 pound of ground beef or you can put 2, it's kind of up to you, or you could also use sausage or turkey. I know a lot of people use sausage with this recipe and it works out perfectly, but I try to stay away from pork, so that's why I'm using beef. So you need about 1 to 2 pounds of that. This from Costco, I believe, is like 1.3 pounds. Then I'm going to be using 1 cup of some sauteed mushrooms. I'm going to use a whole can of this Rouse homemade Alfredo sauce, best kind on the market in my opinion. We're going to use a whole package of some green beans and then about a cup of some cheese. Now you could mix all the different kinds of cheese together. You could use Parmesan as well, but I am just using mozzarella. And then for the spices, I'm going to use some salt and pepper, some Italian seasoning. You could also use some onion powder, some garlic powder. That would taste really, really good with that as well. Okay, let's get started. All right, so you want to put your meat, some of the seasoning, and start cooking it on the stove. I'm going to be adding the salt, the pepper, and the Italian seasoning right to the meat. This recipe, though, is actually so incredibly easy to do that it will just take you a couple minutes. In fact, this video is probably going to be really, really short. You want to wash your green beans. Now, I bought ones that were already trimmed. You could also soak them in vinegar for a little bit if you want to make sure that there's nothing on them. Once your green beans are washed, you're going to just put them all in your pan. I'm going to also make sure that there's no pieces that were forgotten when they trimmed these. Now this recipe is just so incredibly simple. You can seriously do it in just a few minutes. Then we're going to shred about a cup or maybe a little bit more. I usually tend to add more than what I say. So I'll probably do 1.5 cups or even 2 cups depending upon how I'm feeling. I always like to shred my cheese. I know I used to buy it shredded and then I realized, oh, this has a layer of cellulose that is covering it, which is kind of like sawdust, and it just doesn't melt the same. And it's actually way cheaper for you to just shred it yourself. So after you clean off your mushrooms, you can just throw them right into the meat while it's cooking, maybe a little bit before it's done cooking, and then they will just kind of cook right along with the meat. All right, so we have our green beans, our mushrooms and meat just got done. I'm just going to spread this out over the sheet pan. Now, this is why I said any sort of meat would work perfectly with this, because you could do whatever you want. You could even do chicken. Now, we are going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to be spreading on the Alfredo sauce. I mean, for real, this is so easy, right? So I try to spread it out as much as possible, and then I'm just going to cover it with some cheese. You could also do cheese before you put the Alfredo sauce on if you wanted, or you can do it before and after as well. Okay, so this is 1 cup. I think I might add a little bit more. I'm also going to add some more salt to the top and some of the other seasonings as well, because you want this to be super flavorful. All right, again, I'm going to be baking this at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. All right, let's serve it up. Now, you guys, this is already, I tasted a little piece of it. It's so delicious. Now, I'm just going to be putting it on a plate like that. Picking up anything that falls to the side. It's so good. And you can, if you notice in the pan on the bottom, there is a little liquid, which is totally perfect. You can use some of that liquid to kind of drizzle on the top as well. All right, we pulled it out of the oven. We let it cool down for a little bit. Let's try our, do a taste test. Okay.
What is this?
That's hamburger. Yum.
I love it.
It's so good. I love the Alfredo sauce in it. It really gave this some more flavor instead of just like beans and meat. But it's really good with all the seasonings and the Alfredo sauce on there. You guys are going to love it. Hannah, do you like it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's kid tested. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned. We have a bunch more supper recipes coming up that you're not going to want to miss. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.